green biomass. And if you just, well, this picture, for example, of Mexico City, it's just endless what we have been achieving in terms of construction and putting materials and energy into constructions. And it's just amazing the enormity of it. So very telling pictures and figures that really also call for a systemic change. The Ellen MacArthur Foundation picked this up, or Ellen MacArthur herself, and she established this foundation several years ago already. The butterfly diagram was very famous, and this diagram really triggered industry. They were already, of course, working on greening supply chains, but this allowed them, gave them something to hold on to take a further step in the greening of those supply chains. And it also allowed them really an action perspective of, well, where to reduce the input indeed and avoid output, and how to sort of restructure our supply chains. But as you can see, there is no, this is a sort of footloose picture. This is about supply chains, but not the locations of these supply chains, and not the locations of where all these activities happen. Some other graphs have been made. I found this one on Wiki, a very nice one on the construction supply chain, showing a bit more of the space-bound character of the supply of our construction materials and use of it, but still not really specific. Cities, in the meantime, they have picked up on this circular economy, and yesterday it was also in the opening session. There were presentations on how cities realize that they are sort of the center for action, because it is the source and the sink of many of those materials, and they are really taking up a responsibility. They see a responsibility for themselves and are looking for ways to give meaning to this responsibility, and thinking of, well, how what does a circular economy, what does it mean for us as a city, and where can we influence it? And then you see all these types of policy statements, policy briefs that have been developed over the years. I think the past 10 years, we've seen many all around the world, but in Europe especially, also of course stimulated by the circular economy package of the European Commission. On the left-hand side, you see the fairly recent circular economy statement of the Greater London Authority, and in Amsterdam they have been working on it for a bit longer already, and have been targeting also specific activities in the cities, like well, construction is singled out by many cities as a sector to focus on, but also the textile industry, electronic waste, and plastics and food. Those are the sectors usually indicated by cities to target their policies on. And this it's a covenant made by the City of Amsterdam and stakeholders of the metropolitan region to agree to the use of timber construction in many new constructions, and they demand, or the target ambition is that at least 20% of all new constructions should be constructed in timber. So this is really considered as a leverage to this the greening, or the making our construction sector more circular. How location specific, or what is the spatial dimension also to those continents? Because like the use of specific materials, because it still doesn't address the sourcing and supply chain. If you think from a yeah, the perspective of, well, where does it come from?